The next conversation that we're going to focus on as to how much does it cost to be healthy in India, and to understand as to how finances and health can be combined the best way possible. We're joined to discuss this. We're joined by Avinash Mansukhani, who's a body transformation specialist and owner at FTS, joining us now. Avinash, thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking with us at NDTV Profit. I started this conversation by asking as to how costly is it to be healthy in India. Give us a perspective from your end as to what are the costs involved, first of all.
Okay, so how costly it is to be healthy is, I would say, a little subjective right now with the way things are.
Yeah.
You can start really basic. You can go into a little more medium budget, and you can go into a really high budget, right? Depending on how much you want to spend on your health. When it comes to what you should spend on, I would say there are probably 6 main things you should be spending on when it comes to your health or fitness. The first 2 are super compulsory, which is 1, nutrition, right? Input into your body. Second is how you utilize that input, which is going to the gym or working out, etc., etc. These are the main 2 things I would say that are non-negotiable that you should spend when it comes to your health and longevity. The other things on top of that is number 3, I would say, is guidance, whether that's coaching, personal training, or a nutritionist that can help you take this to the next level and maybe help you optimize your time, right? You're putting in the work, putting in the time, rather make it work for you. Number 4, I would say, is supplementation. This is, again, another optional that you can spend money on that can, again, optimize the process and maybe take you to the next level. Not completely compulsory. Number 5, I would say, is recovery. And this, again, you can spend as much as nothing, because sleep and stretching is free, to a lot, depending on whether you want an ice plunge, sauna, steam, etc., etc. And number 6, I would say, on the list is maybe things that motivate you in terms of buying that active wear, how much you travel to go to the gym that you like, stuff like that. So I would say these are the main 6 things that you could probably spend on for your longevity or your health for the sake of it. But I would say number 1 and 2 is what you should probably be concentrating on as a bare minimum.
So then, Avinash, is it safe to say that, like people keep on saying this, that it's expensive to become healthy in India? And is that just a misconception according to you?
I would say, rather than a misconception, I would say it's a perception. Okay, now what I mean by that is, unfortunately, the term healthy has been marred by marketing campaigns, right? You add gluten-free on a packaged product and you can charge 150 rupees more, or you add extra 2 grams of protein and you can spike up the price of the product because now it says healthy, right? So I think because of marketing on the people providing the health, they've been able to spike up prices and make it costlier. But if a customer actually knows what he needs in terms of getting healthy, being healthy can be really, really economical and super simple.
Okay. With regards to where your diet is concerned, do you think having a healthy meal is costly, or it's just about smart planning?
I would say it's about smart planning, right? Start off with just getting your macros right in terms of, hey, carbs, proteins, fats. Let's get this in the amount your body needs, right? You can refine this to go into complex carbs, more expensive carb sources, more expensive protein sources, more expensive fat sources for the sake of it. And this is can be a function of time as you optimize your health and optimize your fitness, and you need to get to the next level. Yes, spend more on taking that next step. But to start off, it can be just simple as, hey, you're at home, any meal you eat is going to compromise of some protein source, some fat source, some carb source. Let's optimize this in terms of, hey, this is what my body needs, and then we can complicate this down the road. A mistake a lot of people make right now is jumping straight into the optimized version of it, where they're spending a little bit too much on nutrition, overcomplicating a little too much, overpaying for them, but then over-consuming, which is then where the problems arise.
Okay. So Avinash, we talked about exercise, gymming. We also talked about diet. But the third aspect is with regards to supplements. A lot of people
Yes.
take external supplements to be healthy. Now this can be both, right? It can be to build what you're trying to build in terms of your height, shape, and body. And the
Right.
other aspect is to become more healthy in terms of getting more strength.
Yeah.
How do you look at this aspect? What should one look at while consuming these supplements? And what are the things that one needs to keep in mind before taking these supplements?
Okay, so let's start off with the latter part of the question. What should one keep in mind when it comes to supplementation is, hey, is your body deficient in that thing that you're supplementing with, right? Supplement is just adding on top in case your body is deficient.
Correct.
So figure out what your body is deficient in. This is as simple as a blood test, and then maybe supplement with your magnesium, your vitamins, your minerals, etc., right? I would say that's when it comes to your stuff like minerals and stuff like that, and vitamins, etc. When it comes to other supplementation, such as your powders and gym specific supplementation that's out there, which tell you that you need to have this to become the most optimized version of yourself, I would say forget all the clutter that's out there. The problem, probably the most important two you should be taking is creatine and a protein powder, right? Um, Not completely compulsory, but if you have to spend on supplementation, I would say spend on these two. Why I would say that is when it comes to protein powder, is just helping you get your protein requirements at the lowest calorie cost, right? So if you have to maybe eat a meal and get that amount of protein, your calorie cost to go high, you can probably get that at a little lower calorie cost using a protein powder. So that's one way you can supplement. Um, Keep in mind that it's not completely compulsory. You can still get it from your food sources, right? So that's one aspect of it. The other thing I would say is super important nowadays is creatine. Like I mentioned, great for an energy source if you're working out or just for like cognitive function, right? Your body does produce creatine on its own, but it's very limited stores. And if you're working out a little too hardcore, or if you have working a lot, right, even using a brain a lot, your body tends to deplete those stores. So it's very good to supplement with creatine, which basically breaks down into an energy molecule that your body needs. So I would say these two would be my top priority, and is if you have to supplement with these two first before any of your other gym specific supplementation.
Okay. Avinash, with regards to a realistic budget to make sure that you're healthy, what should that ideally look like?
To make sure that you're highly healthy, okay, let's start off with those six things I spoke about, right? If it's going to the gym, the one thing the cheapest way to go about it is either join a local gym that's close by, or buy adjustable dumbbells at home that are going to last you maybe for a year or two. So that you can keep increasing the weight. That's one way, which should cost you anywhere between, I say if you break it down into a monthly, would be anywhere between 1 to 2K a month, right? That's complete budget. You want to go to a gym such as your chains, your Gold's Gym, your any of your other chains, Anytime Fitness, etc. That would cost you anywhere between 2 to 4K a month. And then on top of that, if you want to go to a boutique gym, you're spending anywhere between 5 to 10K a month. That would, I would say, the base in terms of your gym aspect. Then comes your nutrition. Now you're anyways going to be spending money on your normal food. I would say if you add another 2 to 3K to get better protein sources and better vegetables and reduce the amount of carbs that you eat a little bit, another 2 3K should cover that. So I think we're at 5K to about 8K as your bare minimum, as your for just the first two things. And then comes programming, which I think is super important. That's what we do, remote coaching. We make sure you understand how to use your input and your workouts to produce the output you want, right? There is a trend that I've seen. A lot of people want to get fit. They're putting in the time. They're going to the gym, but they're doing the same stuff every day. And unfortunately, your body, being the machine that it is, it adapts to everything very fast. So you need to push it to the next level, right? So good programmer on how to use this input input being nutrition, utilization being your workouts to produce the output you want, could be very important. I would say that should be anywhere between 4 to 5K a month,
Okay.
right? And then your supplementation is maybe 1 to 2K a month.
Okay. One last question, Avinash. One thing that you think that Indians are overspending in terms of their fitness journey versus what they should spend on. What are these two things?
Ooh. I think the younger generation is more obsessed with the aesthetic of where they're working out or what they're working out and what they're consuming, etc.,
Yeah.
right? And it tends to overcomplicate things. So there's a lot of money spent on, hey, is my Instagram background looking good while I'm at the gym? And I've been I would say I would have done this myself too in the past, rather than actually concentrating on, hey, optimizing your workout and making sure you're progressing and having good enough input to produce the output you want. So I would say that's maybe a mistake. People are kind of thinking more about the optics of it rather than the functionality of it. That could be the one place where there's overspending. But to be honest, hey, if you're overspending on fitness and health, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Absolutely. And that sums it up very well, Avinash. So thank you so much for getting us those insights and, of course, taking out the time and speaking with us at NDTV Profit. All right, so that brings us to the end of this edition of Your Money Matters. I hope that we helped you with your credit card EMIs as well as how you can manage your health and finances. But stay tuned, more news and updates on the other side.